Hi, everyone. My name is Beth Ginter, and I'm going to be joined by my partner, Shereen Hughes. We are going to talk about our work with the Chesapeake Bay Landscape Professional Certification Program, developing the green workforce for watershed resilience. I'm the executive director of the Chesapeake Conservation Landscaping Council. I'm a landscape designer by training, and I am based in Silver Spring, Maryland. Our organization focuses on providing training and education on green infrastructure and sustainable landscaping for landscape professionals across the Bay region. Shereen?
Hi, I'm Shereen Hughes, and I'm Assistant Director of Wetlands Watch. We're a nonprofit in the Norfolk area, and we're very concerned about resilience and adaptation to sea level rise. And I'm the Virginia coordinator for the Chesapeake Bay Landscape Professional Program. And a lot of my focus over the last couple of years is building a resilient workforce in order to ensure that we have resilient landscapes and resilient shorelines.
All right, thanks. So all the work we do is really built upon the belief that landscape professionals have a unique opportunity to help local and state governments and watershed groups meet their watershed restoration and habitat restoration goals by providing support to private property owners and public property owners to make sure that the stormwater practices and sustainable landscapes they are installing, designing, and maintaining are well done. The core of our work is really a level 1 and level 2 certification program, but we have a lot of other training opportunities going on, and we are going to focus in on a couple of those and tell you some stories about our work today. So the program itself is across the Bay region. Right now we're offering training in Virginia, Maryland, DC, and Pennsylvania. Since we started in the fall of 2016, we've trained over 1,000 landscape professionals and others who work on green infrastructure and sustainable landscapes. One of the unique things about our program is our focus on really creating a community and network of like-minded professionals. So we see our training not just as a certificate that you get to hang on your wall, but as an ongoing collaboration and a network that we are building across the region. All of the work that we do is really built around these 8 guiding principles. So these are the 8 essential elements of conservation landscaping. The little book that you see there on the left side of the screen is our primer on sustainable landscaping. And you can see all of those bullet points kind of outline the holistic approach that we take to the landscape. And this is quite different from sustainable landscape practice, but all of these goals are interwoven into all of the training that we do. So we're very grateful to an incredible network of partners and steering committee and funders who have made this effort possible. We are steered by a group of 5 consortium partners, including my organization and Shereen's organization. And we have this amazing network of over 40 supporting partners from across the region who have done things like host training, train their own staff, and provide us with resources and materials to support the work that we're doing. Just kind of building on that note, one of our overarching goals has always been to provide support to our partners who are trying to meet water quality and habitat restoration goals. In particular, in the last couple of years, we've really been honing in on some of the things that we do in addition to our regular public training. So we have been doing a lot more customized or private trainings for our government and nonprofit partners to train their staff as well as local contractors, whether those are designers and engineers or contractors who build and maintain stormwater practices. we are finding that there's a lot of interest in this work. In addition, we often have collaborations with partners who are seeking grant funds for implementation projects. And the way that works is that we are sort of collaborating with those partners to make sure that the landscape professionals who are doing implementation for grant funded projects or who will be maintaining those projects after they're built are properly trained, and that they have the skills that they need to do the work and to do it well. So ultimately, we think that this will result in more successful practices and really good use of all the funding that is going into green infrastructure right now. And when you have this trained workforce, that will make it all a little bit more smooth. All right, so in our training, in all of our training, in fact, there are a few hallmarks that we pride ourselves on. We focus very specifically on the unique regulations and ecology of the Chesapeake Bay region. We teach a collaborative practice module, trying to get people out of their practice silos. So we train designers, installers, and maintainers all together, and that is that's a decision that we made deliberatively because we felt like it was important for all of us to learn from one another. So teaching adaptive management and climate resiliency are some of the other things that we really focus on in all of the training that we do. All right, so COVID has been interesting for us. Some of the things that have gone particularly well, obviously we've had to adapt all of the work that we do. And in the process of doing that, we really did a thorough reevaluation of the existing content in our level 1 and level 2 training programs, as well as some of the workforce related projects that we are working on. So just a quick thank you to some of our funders who played a critical role in allowing us to be nimble and to adapt to this strange environment that we are all working in now. So from the Campbell Foundation, we were able to invest in some technology to support our filming of videos and transitioning some of our content into an online format. Our online, in fact, the format that we're currently using for level 1 and level 2 is a hybrid. So we teach part of our class online via Zoom, and we're also still teaching in person outdoors. And then, so thank you to RISE for the funding that really helped support that work. And thank you also to the Chesapeake Bay Trust for helping us to develop our first PowerPoint-free all outdoor class, where we have adapted one of our other training programs. All right, so level 1 is our baseline credential. This is our most popular class. This is the class that we've had over 1,000 people have taken this class now in the last 6 years. So I think one thing that's really important that has shifted a bit with COVID is the focus on making sure that this training is accessible for everyone. So we have been working on a lot of different scholarship opportunities to get more people trained. We are also working to diversify our instructors so that we have more instructors of color. So hopefully those taking our trainings will see themselves reflected in our instructors and the leadership of the level 1 certification. Level 2 also is a hybrid course. It's a very different class. It's a seminar style intensive program. With COVID, this has been very interesting. Normally it's a 3-day class, and many people do travel to attend level 2. And for some, that can really be a financial burden. So in this COVID world, we're only meeting in person one day, and the rest of the time is online. So that means that people only have to travel one day, and we've set the day up so we meet in the middle of the day, actually on a weekend. So it's very easy in a centrally located place, so that it's easy for people to travel round trip in one day and not have to stay in a hotel or incur additional travel costs. All right, so in addition to all of the in-person training, we have developed a number of technical resources. We make an effort to make at least some of these easily accessible. Many of them are free, some of them are not free, but we try to keep the price very reasonable. So these are just a couple of those, and you can find them online. The first at the top is our Sustainable Landscape Maintenance Manual, written by Cheryl Corson and focusing on our region. When we started this effort, we found that there really was no comprehensive maintenance resource for the Chesapeake Bay watershed. So we developed one with Cheryl, and that's available as a free download, or you can purchase a copy if you want a printed one from us. And then we know that vegetation is confounding for many people who design and install and maintain vegetated stormwater BMPs. So we developed, with the support of a group of native plant experts, we developed this native plant guide. It's sort of the best native plants for our region for vegetated BMPs. And that's available for $30 on our website. All righty, so I just want to give you a snapshot of a couple other programs, and then Shereen is going to chime in on some of the specific work that we're doing that relates to career pathways, job development, and workforce. So in addition to our level 1 and level 2 training, we always offer a variety of different workshops on a variety of different topics. You can see some of those there. And again, many of these are accessible for people to take the classes online. We're really trying to focus on either doing online or a combination of online, in person, and in the field, because we believe strongly that you can learn so much from actually seeing things in the ground. Many of these classes are developed or taught by some of our technical advisors, our steering committee members, and our instructors. And almost all of them, I think all of them really, are available to the public as well as to our network of certified pros. All right, so I'm going to kind of tee this up a little bit. We have found ourselves in the last few years working a lot more on green jobs, workforce development, and really we see this as building pathways for career development from the entry level to advanced practice. So some of the things that we have been concerned with are working with community organizations that focus on green jobs and providing support and training, helping to connect those folks with trained landscape professionals. We have also been doing some work training incarcerated individuals, and hope to be doing more work with returning citizens because we believe that those people could really help boost up the numbers of available practitioners to ensure that stormwater practices are well maintained. We have very recently also had great number of requests for Spanish language programming. We've kind of been waiting for that to happen. We knew that that the interest would be there once we got to a critical growth point. And I think that we are seeing now a lot of interest in Spanish, and we'll talk a bit about some of the things that we have going on. The other thing is really because we have this network of over 800 certified pros at this point, we're very eager to develop pathways to connect young people and others who are just entering this field with practicing professionals. And we know from our work and from surveys that we've done that for landscape professionals who are contractors, it is very difficult to find qualified help and to retain them. So to the extent that we're able to support them and help them build their own practice, that is part of the work that we are doing. All right, and Shereen is going to talk about a couple of the programs that we have going on.
First of all of our workforce development programs and trainings that we do are with partners who are focused and targeting and experienced at working with that particular group of people. And when we talk about workforce development, is it entry-level training, or is it creating pathways for entry-level people to move on and rise up to better paying jobs? These are all things to think about. And one of kind of the things that we found out very early on is the horticulture and landscape practice and fields of study in colleges and in high schools is kind of dying. There aren't enough young people going into those careers and into those fields of study. And so we wondered, how can we, first of all, bring our level 1 training to a community college? And we had the Community College of Baltimore County, and the head of that, the horticulture program, was on our steering committee. And all along he said, I want to integrate this program into a semester class for students, and they can take the exam, the CBLP level 1 exam, and then be certified and pass the class. And we just thought this was amazing. And so this partner brought the funding to us, and we worked with him to integrate it into his program. Some of our CBLP trainers became his adjunct faculty, which was amazing. And we think it's a model. And there's other community colleges and regular colleges that are interested in doing this, so that the students finish with a professional certification. And this is a great way for people that maybe, our other trainings, level 1 and level 2, are very fast paced, very rapid, and a lot of self-directed time learning and studying before you take 100-question exam. And some people, that's too fast. So this gave us a way to spread it out and also deliver it to a really pretty diverse group of students. Next slide, please. The next program that we added was a CBLP Associate, and this was in partnership with Howard Eco Works and the READY program. So they already had a green infrastructure careers training internship program, and they came to us and said, let's integrate CBLP into that program and give these youth and recent high school graduates a certificate. And then that certificate can be a pathway to jobs, as well as a person that holds a CBLPA certificate is eligible to register and pursue level 1 certification. So they don't have to go and get job training, or they don't have to have a college degree to move on to our level 1 training. And what we found for people that are in maintenance crews and entry-level jobs, for instance, and with level 1 certification, they've actually been given promotions or raises once they get our level 1 certification. So this is a pathway to better paying jobs in the first place. It's a way to fill those empty jobs where a lot of our partners are looking for entry-level workers. And it can also be a career pathway, or we offer mentoring. And these 2 young men actually started and went through the CBLPA program the first time. We have done it in Virginia with the Elizabeth River Project. And they were working at Paradise Creek Nature Center as an intern. And the internship was funded through workforce development for the Hampton Roads Workforce Development. So it's a workforce development internship that's specifically targeted to inner city youth and people that demonstrate some form of need. And the story about these two young men is I met their mothers when we gave the certificates out, and the mothers didn't even know that that park, which is an amazing park, inner city park, was even there. And they said their sons now were going to be guides and introduce their sisters and brothers and cousins to this amazing park in their area. From this program, I was introduced to Portsmouth Public High Schools, and I am currently in the middle of piloting the CBLP-A in a horticulture class at Portsmouth Public High School. And it is eligible for high school credits, and it is considered a professional certificate through the Department of Education in Virginia's Career and Technical Ed program. So we're really excited about this, because what could be more equitable than working within the public school system where it's accessible to everybody. Next. Then the next thing that we tackled was, we all agree maintenance is important, and maintenance is often undervalued. The maintenance of the stormwater practices, maintenance in the landscape, it's undervalued, underappreciated, underfunded, and people that work in these fields work very hard, but they're usually pretty transient. They move from one job to another for another $1 an hour raise for work. And we found that there were a lot of employers who felt that they didn't want to fund these people, this group of people, maintenance crews, going through our level 1 training. And so we came up with this 1-day certificate program. So there's no need for anybody to take an exam for this. It's purely participatory and applied. And now it is PowerPoint free. So people are moving around and doing things. And so this is really popular, and we can make it affordable, and employers are willing to actually run these CBLP cruise trainings with us so that we can train large groups of staff for them.
All right, so the next program that I'm going to mention is coming up. This is our first Spanish language programming, which is actually an Audubon Naturalist Society in the DC area. We are offering a bilingual training, so we'll be teaching in English and in Spanish. It's a free class, which is supported by funding that the Audubon Naturalist Society has obtained. And so people can come and get a half-day introduction to sustainable landscaping. And we're going to introduce stormwater BMPs. We're going to work with some native plants and teach people about some of the DC area incentive programs. So we're really excited about this opportunity. We're helping to instruct, and also we've been working on developing the agenda with our colleagues at Audubon. And one of the other Spanish-speaking instructors is actually a level 2 certified CBLP Pro. So this is our first foray in Spanish language programming. We are targeting Latino-owned landscape contractors and others in the DC area who have not been through our level 1 training, and maybe one of the barriers for them has been the cost. So we're really excited about this and looking forward to our next training, Spanish training next year.
Once again, we were asked by partners both in Virginia and in Pennsylvania to develop some sort of a riparian buffer training. restoration of buffers and planting of buffers, particularly in Pennsylvania and Virginia, in the more rural and agricultural areas, are a huge practice that's being implemented at a very rapid scale. And there just aren't enough people to do the work who know how to do the work in a way where we circumvent some of the problems associated with failure. And there's a real opportunity for landscape professionals to get into this work. And particularly there's a crossover opportunity for lawn care companies to manage these buffers for the first 3 years. So we worked with James River Association, Pennsylvania Extension, Virginia Cooperative Extension. We've got a whole bunch of partners. And we brought these trainings into the more rural areas of Virginia. So, a lot of our our trainings are urban trainings and focus on the urban areas, but we've been going out into the hills of Virginia and out and beyond the very urbanized areas to work in the agricultural lands. So it's been really interesting and exciting, and we are very grateful to all the people that contributed to this as trainers and to help run this program.
So another effort which is related to buffers is a recent project funded by the Chesapeake Bay Trust. We received a goal implementation team GET grant to work with Pennsylvania DCNR and the Pennsylvania Department of Corrections, as well as the Alliance for the Chesapeake Bay, to research and define and refine and develop a training program for incarcerated individuals in Pennsylvania. So this was sort of expanding the Correctional Conservation Collaborative, which had been started by the Alliance, the Corrections Department, and DCNR. And we worked on that in 2020, finished it up in early 2021, and then we had a great opportunity to pilot and try out some of the modules that we developed for the CCC program in Virginia. So with the Virginia Department of Corrections, Virginia Cooperative Extension, Dave Hirschman from Hirschman Water and Environment, we trained 8 women at the State Farm facility earlier this year, and 3 of those actually received the CBLP buffer certificate. And I believe that one of them actually has found employment working with a contractor who does a lot of work on riparian buffers. So we're super excited about this opportunity and hope that we will be able to be involved in expanding the reach of the CCC program.
We've had a lot of success stories, but this is one that really demonstrates how our real goal is to get people trained and have the skills. And we worked with Old Dominion University in Norfolk, Virginia. We had these 3 people that are right in front of you. You can see them with the ODU hats on. They were grounds crews, and they didn't have a lot of knowledge about best management practices, but they really have been committed to learning the skills and learning the curriculum and passing the exam. And we were very fortunate to have one of the ODU staff who was willing to mentor each and every one of these staff members because they struggled with passing the exam. And so what we ended up doing was we have a staff member of ODU who has mentored and coached all 3 of these people. And we've allowed her to give the exams orally. We gave them 3 tries on the exams, and in different ways, trying to accommodate learning styles and test-taking skills. And the 2 people, Dwight and Tanya on the right, passed their exam in the 90th percentile. And Dwight has come to me and said, I was so bored with my job before this. And they both got promotions and raises. So ODU gives their staff promotions and raises when they get CBLP level 1 certified. And Dwight came to me and said, this was just so interesting to me. I'm so excited about this. And now he goes all over campus and he looks for areas where there's runoff that's just areas that are flooding, or areas that he can come up with retrofits to manage the stormwater runoff and manage the flooding with conservation landscaping. And he works with his supervisor, Rachel, who mentored him, and she helps him to design these retrofits. So he went from somebody who just mowed and blowed and weed whacked and was pretty bored with his job to now he just loves coming to work every day. And we are using him as a mentor for some of our CBLPA students. So we'll be visiting ODU campus with the Portsmouth students this Friday, and they'll be learning from him.
Okay, so we just want to share one more success story. I think we might be out of time, Shereen, so we'll page through the other slides and make sure you guys have access to them. But I wanted to kind of close, I guess, with this story. So this is a young woman who was in our very first CBLPA cohort in Columbia, Maryland, and she did CBLPA in 2018, and then the next year she got a job working for a contractor, and they paid for her to take level 1 training. And most recently this spring she completed level 2 training. So she's the first person who's gone all the way through our 3 levels of certification and training. All right, so I think we might be over time. So I'm just going to quickly flip through these slides to show you guys some of the outcomes from our work. And then presumably you'll get a copy of these slides as well. All right, thanks so much, everyone.
Bye.